Hello everyone. This video is, well, in case you couldn't tell from the title, I, a straight white guy, am going to try and explain why a sexual harassment policy is a good thing for straight white guys, to straight white guys. And it's a little odd because a lot of the things that fall under sexual harassment we consider culturally roughhousing or displays of domination until they're done to us, or someone close to us, or by someone of a sexuality we don't want to think about, or, well, you'll see. The most important thing, though, I want to get across is that a sexual harassment policy is not the piece of paper you see describing what conduct is not acceptable. And it's usually not a list of specific actions. It's doing something of a sexual nature at or to someone without their express or implied consent. And it generally can't be a he said, she said, or he said, or she said, or in some really twisted situations, a he or she and versus he and she said, or some combination thereof. Couples can get really twisted. They don't harass often, but when they do, wow, does it mess with your head. Okay. But what it is, what the actual policy is the list of conduct and the list of actions to be taken by the staff, and what constitutes abuse of that policy, making false claims, generally, and what to do in case of that, which is usually treated as another harassment violation, and throw their asses out. So keep in mind that a good harassment policy does defend itself against abuse. Do remember that. A good harassment policy is also gender neutral because human beings do weird things to each other in ways that revolve around sex in an amazing variety of ways. I mean, just ask a police officer, if you know one, the number of ways in which they have seen one human being sexually harass another one, or the calls they've come in on, and you will get an earful. Ply them with drink. It might go a little better, and the details might be a little bit more forthcoming. But that aside, let's say some guy walks up to your table, plops his nuts in your drink, and tries to stick your dick in his dick in your ear. That is sexual harassment. Let's say some guy walks up to there are only a couple of you in this intersection, and guy walks up and puts his hand on your crotch and says, "Are you gay?" And you say, no matter what you say, lip locks you. Alright, you are being sexually harassed. Let's say you're sitting there at a party, or lying there at a party, hanging out. The room's spinning a little bit, so you're laying back, on the bed, just to get grounded again. And some guy drops his nuts on your forehead, or some girl who has been harassing you the whole con and has not taken no for an answer, drops her tits in your face. This is sexual harassment. And so let me tell you that there's nothing that the security, the hotel security and the staff security at the event, like to deal with less than a person who can't be trusted not to pee on the carpets and act like a general asshole, than someone who can't be trusted not to pee on the carpets, and someone who has poor impulse control and swings at the person who can't be trusted not to pee on the carpets. That's what the policy is for, to minimize the amount of violence and stress and angst and people who won't be returning next year because of fuck-ups like that. So the sexual harassment policy is something that can work in your favor. Make sure it's gender neutral. Make sure it has something in it about what to do if the policy is abused. Make sure it has an appeal procedure or that you can say, if you have other evidence, that you can present it. You know, there are any one of a number of the appeal procedure isn't so much. Generally, they make sure that they will get both sides of the story. Make sure it's not although they've been writing sexual harassment policies for 40 years now, so they've gotten pretty good at it. You know, you can look them up online and find them. But they do exist. Good ones do exist, and they will help you. And they will not only help you, they will help your friends, they will help your siblings, they will help, let's say your parent goes and your parent gets accused. You don't want that to be something, or gets harassed. You don't want that to be something that's left up to chance or somebody's whim. Make sure it's in writing. And there was one other thing I was going to mention. Oh, Thunderfoot's example of bars not having policies, that's pretty fucking silly. Because if you think that a bar doesn't have to be very, very careful about who it authorizes that its employees, i.e. the bouncers, lay their hands on, if you don't think there has to be some reason and some very careful consideration of what's going on, I mean, it is private property, but it is also a place of public accommodation. So there are some fine lines you got to walk there. It is not just we reserve the right to do whatever. No. There is a lot of thought that has been put into these things. Work with that. Use it. It's part of the accumulated knowledge of the human race. And the other thing, really, to some of you, what will be the most important thing is that a sexual harassment policy makes everybody not only more relaxed, because once they understand that they aren't criminalizing consensual behavior, then everyone will feel more comfortable and less like, what's this guy gonna do to me? They will have recourse. Not only that, but it means when you ask someone, hey, are you interested in this, that, or the other thing, then you are more likely to get a straight up answer, because the person you're asking will not have to as much calculate whether or not she will be in danger from your reaction to her answer or not. It will not be as big as a concern because she will feel safer, because she will be safer. And so will you. So, think about it. Have fun in the comments. And if you want to see even more of me whacking gender politics beehives, there's a link down below to my blog post today, which was about the whole Daniel Tosh thing, and why there are a whole fucking lot of people who don't get comedy, who don't understand what is really happening when someone is laughing at a rape joke or even makes one, and why, if you're going to explain it in hostile terms, explaining why it's bad in hostile terms is absolutely the worst thing you can do, especially right then. So, do take a look. And I'm going to start clipping the more interesting comments and posting them on my Facebook, on the Stealth Badger Facebook, so I'm going to leave a link to that too, just because I get some doozies. They're starting to come in more and more often, so I figure I got to share with you. But the mosquitoes are now officially ignoring the bug repellent, so thank you for your time and attention.